Before I start, I'm actually making a quick announcement, and this is actually me from having already talked for like 12 minutes straight. Just know that I will talk about a lot of different things in this video I'm learning now. I will put some time codes in the description, and so if you're looking for something in particular, I might talk about it. If not, just watch it through. So that's that. Hey team, Austin here, and this is Otter Space Productions. However, if you clicked on this video, you probably know that, and the reason being is that this video will be made for a very, very specific audience of people who have applied for the CBYX Vocational Scholarship and have made it to the interviewing round. Now, the reason I'm making this video is because since I did the program in 2015, every year I get a series of people reaching out and asking questions about the interviewing process, if I have any tips or help, and so I figured this year I would just make a video, and that way it would just be available for everyone. And so that's what's going to be going on. It's going to be very personal, and since I'm guessing you're probably kind of desperate for information at this point, I can just ramble on as much as I want because you don't have any other resources. I'll try to keep it concise as possible, but I do have a tendency to run on about stuff like this. For example, not getting straight to the point as we are now. So I'm just going to talk about this whole process in general, what my experience was, and any advice I can give you, as well as some specific questions that people have asked me this year that I will give just on the spot answers to. So the interview round, to be honest, guys, I was so nervous for this. I had put so much into this program. I wanted it so bad that I was just a ball of nerves arriving on location. Now, preparing for this interview, I did my due diligence. I did a lot of research into the program. I knew dates, facts, statistics, who exactly funded this program, when it started. I knew all the information. This ended up being very helpful because as I mentioned in a video I just made about just general interviewing tips, you always want to be the person in the room who knows the most about what's going on. If your mom or dad has dragged you into this, well, one, that's not good, and two, you need to be responsible for yourself here, and you need to really know what you're getting into, better understand what this program even is, read the literature, do the research, know what's going on. Like, seriously know what's going on. So what happens, at least in the states or the regions that have more people that apply, is that you will go either 1 or 2 days, there'll be 1 or 2 days of interviewing where you will sit down with a panel. Could be 2 to 5 people. It depends on how many alumni are in the area. I know in Florida, at least, Ginger Lee often is on the panel. I've been on it a few times. I'm not giving away the secrets here. Just know that I'm helping you out as much as I can because I know how stressful this process can be. So you're gonna come, you're gonna sit in a lobby with other people. There's going to be a parent meeting at some point during that day, most likely. During this time, make sure that you're attentive. The jury will be watching your every move while this is happening. So if you are playing on your phone or look disinterested, rest assured that will be inventoried. So don't do that. Try to be engaged in the discussion. Don't just let your mom or dad or whoever ask questions. Ask questions yourself. Really show that this is something that you care about. And after that, or before that even, there's interviews on both sides. You will be invited into this room. You'll sit down in front of this panel of judges, and they will ask you a series of behavioral-based questions. So what this means is that, and this is common for interviews of this type, this isn't specific secret sauce to CBYX Vocational. You'll be given a scenario, and you will be asked how you would react in that given scenario. Now, this is very important when it comes to the pre-planning. Make sure you look up types of behavioral / situational based questions. Look up how to answer them, how to keep them clear and concise and short. And most importantly, make sure you can connect them with experiences in your own life. So you can say, I think that I would react like blank because in my personal experiences, this is a similar challenge that I've had to overcome. This is how I've done it, and these were the results. You kind of want to format as many of your responses like that, because it shows to an interviewer panel that, one, you're able to decode enough of your actions and the way you handle things to have that information handy. And also, it will communicate that you can be adaptable. Now, being adaptable is one of the most important things you can be in this program. Like, seriously, guys, I can't stress this enough. This is a government scholarship. This program is taxpayer money that is going for people who really, really care and want to help further the goals of the program, which is going to be that American-German interaction. So what that means is that we don't want to send people over to Germany on this full scholarship to take an opportunity from someone else if their heart's not really in it. And more than that, if they're not going to be adaptable and open-minded and able to, digest problems in a way that is effective, and then they can overcome them. So it's like, this is a big deal. This is not your fun gap year abroad. Like, you will be working and interacting with the German culture. We want to make sure that we're sending the best representatives of America. So if you fit that, great. If not, like, really reconsider if this program is right for you. If you're just going because you want to be in Germany, or you just want to like do a gap year because you think it'd look good on your resume, it's true, a gap year does look good on your resume, but like, this is a vocational program. Like, they want, it really benefits you if you have a skill that can be translated into an internship there, and also that you really care about Germany in particular. Like, this isn't like, CBYX isn't just go on a gap year somewhere. It's a partnership with Germany. So it really benefits if the people going care about Germany, the culture, have interest in the language. So in the past, from people who've been on my program and from people that I've interviewed, sometimes, not people in the program, people that were also at my interview and people that I've interviewed, sometimes it's just evident when interacting with someone that it's really irrelevant to them that this program is even in Germany. They never talk about why they care that it's specifically Germany or not. And so that's I would say that's kind of a turnoff to a jury of people who really care about the program and really care about Germany. So if you do care about going to Germany and gaining that experience, make sure you communicate that as clearly as possible throughout your interview. All right, now some just basic interviewing tips for this is relax, take a deep breath, be personable, just remember good posture. Don't kind of inventory if you have any nervous tics or you're fidgety. Make good eye contact. Remember to smile. Be as honest as possible. Know your resume and supporting documents as well as you can. Whatever you wrote in your host family essay, whatever you wrote on your essays or your resume, that kind of stuff can be brought up by the interviewers. They have read through your documents and kind of have an idea of who you are already. And so, you want to be on brand and know yourself in the way that you've written about yourself already. Other interviewing tips, don't talk for very long. Be clear and concise if you can. Ask good questions when it comes to the time for asking questions. You can either look up good questions to ask. I would recommend, if there are alumni, you can ask them, what was your experience with challenges, or if you have any doubts or concerns, like how did they deal with it? Another thing that I can mention is that so the goal of the program is to take on people who are going to stay in Germany and not want to come back. and ideally don't have a lot of ties in the US that they wouldn't be willing to kind of put a pause on. What I mean by that is that this is supposed to be a program that integrates you into the German culture, and new technology and communication technology makes it so easy to stay in immediate contact with everyone from your home life. So what you should really think about too is that, are you willing to kind of put a bit of a pause on the same degree of communications with the US as you have right now? Like, the program will get tough. I want to be honest with you, is that you will have moments where you are sad or feel lonely or maybe even a little bit depressed. It's part of the cycle of being an exchange student, and you will learn like so much from that. But what you can't really use as a crutch is that if you're just constantly messaging or calling back home, if you're constantly messaging or calling your mom, or if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend that you're leaving in America during this experience, which I do not recommend at all. That should be a conversation that you have with your significant other in high school now. Just talk about the possibilities. It's true, there are stories of it working out, but they are few and far between. And I want to say that 80 to 90% of the relationships that in our program that people had when they came into the program fell out by the end. Guys, like, you're just in high school. Those relationships, while important, are likely not going to be the ones that last. So if you are serious about this program, just keep in mind that it's probably in your best interest to break up with the person you're dating before you go. It's just going to be easier for everyone. It's going to help you better integrate. It's going to help them better move on. That's not what this video is about, but if that's a situation you're in, just know it's probably not going to work out. Like, it really isn't, and that's something you should know now. So for the rest of the video, I'm going to be looking at the questions that I got online or in my inbox from people, and I'm going to be answering them to the best of my ability, just kind of point blank. So the first one is, how many people apply / get an interview? I do not have the information on this ratio. Plus, very unhelpful, the number fluctuates from year to year. I believe my year there were like 120 people, so how many people get an interview? I do not know. It really depends on the state you're in. I know Florida and the Midwest have a lot of applicants. I don't know. I actually can't answer this. I know in Florida they had 2 interview days because there were so many people. Florida's a big state for this program. I know other years they've had like 200 applicants. I don't know how many interviews that translated to. It just really depends on the popularity of the program in that year. All right, so next question is, how long does it take to get back results after the interviews? It says mid-April on the website, but I'm not sure if it varies depending on when you have the interview. It does not vary depending on when you have the interview. Mid-April sounds right. I think that's around the time that I got my call. I don't remember exactly. But if you do get the call, you'll be notified if you are a primary or a secondary. But regardless, the language will be very vague in this phone call. It'll be very much like, think it over, make sure this is something you want. You're a finalist. And what that means is that they really want to gauge to make sure that this is something you actually want to do. Now, if you get told that you are a secondary or a backup, this does not mean no by any means. It is quite often that secondaries or backups get into the program. Because like, as I mentioned, some of the people who got like the primary slots will have got into their dream school and they will select an opportunity over that, or they'll feel the program isn't for them. So being told you're a secondary is not an automatic no. So keep your hopes up a little bit. What is the biggest mistakes people can make that would stop them from getting accepted into the program? Really having a terrible interview, just like whining about stuff and not dressing well and not showing really any good interest in going to Germany, or like not effectively communicating if there's any degree of adaptability. So I would say if you're an adaptable person, you know, and you have experiences that you can communicate that show that you can have a positive outlook and overcome challenges, then like you have just as much of a chance as anyone else for getting into this program. Like this program, in my experience at least, it's a lot of it is about like will. Like, can you communicate that you have the will and the desire and the passion to be a part of this program and to keep your cool and to adapt during the year? So stick with that. Question is, what was the interview format and how was it held? Were there multiple interviews or a panel? In most cases, there will be a panel. Depending on your region, sometimes you'll have to do a Skype interview, which might be with just 1 or 2 people, or just like several interviews with people. It really depends. If you're in a geographical area where there's a lot of applicants, you will have an interview with a panel that will include some people from the program, maybe people from state, like education, and probably some alumni. So that's who you can expect that you're talking to. What's the nature of the questions? In most cases, the questions are going to be behavioral, they're going to be situational. So like, this is a scenario, how do you think, or how do you anticipate, or how will you react within this environment, given these conditions? Other questions you could be asked could be very much related to something you've written within your essays, or even straight from your resume, like, oh, tell us more about this experience, or you have this on your resume, how does that skill translate to something that could be a potential internship? Or like languages, don't put a language on your resume that you don't speak. And if you've already done that, then if that question's asked, just be honest and say like, oh, you know, I took these classes in high school, so it's just, you know, that's just what you do. You put it on your resume. No, my competency in this language is not where I would like it to be. But that's not to say that I would not be passionate about learning German, because, you know, if you're doing this program, you should want to learn German. That should be something that you are that you care about. What's the best advice you would give applicants in this interview stage? Research as much as you can about the program. Dress well, dress to impress, keep your cool, communicate your adaptability. That's true for any interview. It also happens to apply here a lot. Another thing I would recommend is that this is a vocational program, and while that word vocational can have a lot of meanings in the context of CBYX and isn't as strictly vocational in the sense of like a vocational college or a vocational skill set, you should be able to translate one of your proficiencies, something that you're competent with, that either you can work with your hands or you can use software, or you're really good in a specific area. If you can communicate that and translate that into a potential internship opportunity that you can find in Germany, that will benefit you, you know, because like this program is about participants finding placements for themselves in Germany in an internship. And if you don't have a skill on hand that you can easily seek out an internship with, then that's going to make your year more difficult, and therefore might take away points from your overall application. And if you weren't clear about that, this program isn't really like, I don't know how well or how effectively it's communicated through their channels, but if you're under the assumption that this program will be finding an internship for you, you're going to want to go ahead and drop that idea right now. They're definitely here to support you, and oftentimes you can get a lot of support in finding an internship, but ultimately that responsibility falls on your shoulders. You are young adults. You will be able to do this. You will have to take on that responsibility while you're here. More than that, you'll want to, because you are going to find the internship that best fits your needs if you are the one who's seeking it out. So just go in with the expectation that you will be finding your internship, and that will actually give you the best experience. So for right now, you can probably just like look up internships or practicums in Germany and see if you can find something that would match your current skill set. So even in the interview, you could say like, oh, I've done some research, like I recommend you do, and I think that I could translate my skills into an internship opportunity like this one that I found in Germany. Okay, so last question is, what should we expect after the interview stage? Immediately, you are going to be overwhelmed with emotion. I remember I don't feel like I talked for like 2 hours after I was done. I felt like a bus hit me. But basically, you're not gonna know your answer for a while, and so it'll be best if you don't stress about it and you keep working towards other like college goals. So like keep applying to schools, tell them like, hey, I'm applying for this program. You think I could get a deferral? Or like keep working under the expectation that you will not get into this program and you will be going to college next year. And that way you have all of your bases covered in the case something doesn't work out. So that should be your expectation. But all in all, just kind of just try to forget this program even exists for that month or month and a half after your interview. It'll take so much stress out of your life. I remember I would just sit and think about, what will my life be like, or like with or without this program. Don't do that if you can. All right, team. So I don't know how much of that you sat through, if you've even made it this far. Maybe you did because, you just want as much information as you can get. If you have any further questions, write them in the comment section down below. Don't write a list of questions. Just maybe narrow it down to one. That way I can better answer them. This is a great program. Definitely a great program. Try as hard as you can for this interview if this is something you're really passionate about. And hopefully one day I'll see you in Germany, because actually currently right now I'm actually doing an internship in Berlin. So I am back in Germany. This program has stuck with me, and the things I've learned and the relationships that I've built, I still have to this day. So this program can be a lifelong thing if you want it to be. So definitely work hard towards it, and I wish you the best of luck with your interview. And do please give my best to Sue and the other alumni. And if you see Ginger Lee, sometimes she does ones in Florida, make sure you say hello from me. So good luck, take care, and we'll see you around.